But the highlight of my career, I mean, I got a couple of individual SEC championships, but getting to win it as a team in 2002 was definitely the coolest week and coolest event to for my whole career there. So I mean, I'd say that's probably the highlight. I think when I won SECs the first year, Hootie Johnson was the chairman at Augusta National at the time, and he called me to congratulate me. And he asked me, "How would you like to invite 9 of your friends and come play Augusta National?" So for winning SECs the first time as an individual, our whole team got to go play Augusta National, so that was pretty cool. And so the next year it was pretty good motivation. And I won back-to-back years. I won this individually the next year, and then we won as a team again. So Hootie Johnson called us again. He was like, "Y'all want to come back to Augusta National?" So that was kind of a pretty good motivation to play well but to get it done as a team in 2002 and win the SEC championship against the best conference in the country. It was that was pretty special to get to do it with my girls.
Good morning, boys and girls. Welcome to the Whole Story Podcast, brought to you today by Best Ball. If you are watching on YouTube, I've got Mr. Robby to that direction of me, and just below, I've got Kristy, unless it's switched on your computer. Just a quick recap over the weekend. We're kind of winding down or just sort of getting started. I can't tell which one, but the pros are still playing. We're excited. If you haven't heard already, we're going to have a special Ryder Cup edition. Later on this week, we're going to be talking through with some people that know more about golf than I do about their opinion on the Ryder Cup. But of course, over the weekend, there was the Fortinet Championship out in California. I'm wondering if they had really nice wine as a part of the winner's circle. I'm assuming they did, since it was
they played Napa, man. Of course they did.
Yeah, exactly. But the winner was, I apologize to everyone that listens to this, Sahith Thagala.
Sahith, yeah.
So, yeah, if you want to come on our podcast and tell me how to properly pronounce your name, I'm more than happy to come on. He got his first win, so that's always exciting. I'm sure I don't know what that feels like because I'm barely breaking 100. And then also on the DP World Tour BMW Championship, the winner was Ryan Fox. Does he get a free car as a part of that? I feel like BMW should at least sponsor you for a year if you win that has their name.
If he doesn't, he got enough money to pay for one or two.
He can go buy one. He'd probably put it on a lease program, though, just being fiscally responsible. So,
well, he travels all over the place. I mean, what good is that going to do if you're on a plane? So
that's right. Well, we're not here to talk about professional golf, as always. So I'm going to allow Robby to introduce our guests, and quite possibly the most accomplished guest we've had on so far, I believe.
Absolutely. Besides you, Jonathan, yes, this is definitely the most accomplished guest. So, Jonathan, when you and I first started talking about, hey, let's do a podcast to tell golf stories, and we're like, who do we know? Who would be fun to have on? Like, Kristy was at the top of my list, and it's taken 26 episodes to get her on here. But strategically, you'll see why in a second. This is the perfect episode for her to be on. So, Kristy McPherson, let me give a rundown real quick of a bio. From Conway, South Carolina. I think there's a statue there on 501 as you enter Conway. But she played at Conway High School, went on to the University of South Carolina, the Gamecocks. So Kristy and I were at Carolina together in the same major sport, entertainment management. So we first met there, been friends. I won't say how long. We figured out that I'm old and she's not. Right. But anyway, she was the 2003 SEC Golfer of the Year, 3-time first team All SEC, 3-time NCAA All American. In 2002, the Gamecocks, with Kristy's help, won the SEC championship. 2001, 2002, she was the individual SEC champion. I know it's coming. We're getting there. 2010, she was inducted into the South Carolina Gamecocks Hall of Fame. She was the first female golfer to get in. She turned pro in 2003 after graduation. For 2003, 2007. Kristy, I'm sorry, we'll ask you some questions in a second.
A little bit.
Played on the, I don't know if it was called at the time or not, the Epson Tour. And in 60 starts, Jonathan did not miss a cut. Made it to the LPGA Tour in 2007. And 2009 had an awesome year. We'll talk about this a little more. I think she played in 3 of the 4 majors, or sorry, 4 of the 5 majors that year, and in 3 of them had top 10 finishes, which got her an automatic pick or automatic qualifier to the 2009 US Solheim Cup team. Most importantly, I would say, at least once she won a First Presbyterian Church golf tournament championship. I asked Kristy if she wanted to come play, captain's choice team. I show up and it's a bunch of older men at the church. And I say, this is my friend Kristy. She's kind of good at golf, and we win the thing. So anyway, Kristy, thank you so much for coming on the Whole Story podcast.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. You know a lot more about me than I know about me, man.
Hey, the internet either tells all the good things or makes it up. So
that's right. Yep. Well, thanks for having me on. Appreciate
Absolutely.
it.
Well, let's start with this. Age 11, right? And I knew this story, obviously from knowing you in college, but you get diagnosed with Still's disease. You're in bed. It's a form or a type of rheumatoid arthritis, and you get laid up in bed for a while. And that's kind of your intro into golf. So maybe talk a minute about that and that experience. And you're an athlete, and that kind of kept you from doing some of the sports out there. But tell us a little bit about that journey.
Yeah. So yeah, 6th grade, I was 11, and I played a lot of baseball with the boys. I didn't really like softball; it's too slow. And played basketball and played a little bit of golf. But like every 11-year-old, unless you just love golf, like it was kind of boring. My dad was a great player. I'd go to the course with him and hit a few shots, but it wasn't really my thing. And yeah, so when I was 11, I got sick and got diagnosed with Still's disease, and spent a little while, almost a year, 11.5 months, really, not really walking, getting to learn to walk again, and finally got back, to where I could, and I tried to play baseball and basketball after that, just couldn't do it as well as I wanted, or wasn't as fast as I wanted to be, and it hurt a little bit too much. And golf is a little bit, you're using all your muscles, but you're a little bit easier on your body. And so I thought, all right, well, I guess I'll play golf. And just one thing after another. I played on the boys team at Conway because we didn't have a girls team, and got to play with my brother, so that was kind of cool. And then didn't really plan on turning pro, didn't really plan on much. Just I started getting recruited to colleges, and I was like, oh, I can go to school for free. I'm like, that's cool, I guess I'll do that. So I went to school on a full ride, and had a pretty good college career. And everybody kept, when you gonna turn pro, I was like, never really thought about it, but I'm like, okay, you gonna pay me to go play golf? I guess I'll do that. So 20 years later, still playing professionally a little bit. I do have adult jobs as well, but I mean, not that playing golf for a living is not an adult job, but I've never really worked a day in my life. So it's, I've gotten pretty lucky, been pretty blessed to get to play a game that I love for a living. But yeah, it all kind of started, in 6th grade. You think when you can't walk and you can't go to school, I was homeschooled for a year. You think that, it's or almost the full year of 6th grade, and you think it's the end of the world. And, I always tell people it's the best thing that ever happened to me. Definitely a blessing in disguise. It led me to my relationship with Christ, led me to all the people that are, the most important people in my life now. I've met mostly through golf that, I never would have met before. And, so as a 6th grader, 11-year-old, it seems pretty devastating, but you look back on it and, things happened exactly as they were supposed to. And, it's the best thing that ever happened to me. Led me to play golf in this long career, and all the great things I've been able to do. So it's been fun.
That's funny you say pretty good college career. But anyway, you're also involved with the Arthritis National Research Foundation. I think you mentioned before you're an ambassador for them. So that's great. I mean, folks like that need to see pro athletes and folks like yourself getting involved. But your pretty good college career. We already listed off what you did. What are some of the highlights for you of playing for the Gamecocks?
Oh, all 4 years playing for Carolina, it's just these girls now, they come out of college early. I'm like, why do you want to do that? I mean, all you got to do is play golf and go to class. Like, I don't have to book rental cars. I don't have to book flights. I don't have to just show up, get in a van or get on a plane and go play golf, and everything's taken care of. And I always tell people I'd go play 4 more years if they'd let me, but I mean, my we had a very good team. We were top 25 a lot, but we played a very tough schedule for all 4 years. We always booked the schedules with the Dukes and all that. Duke was the number one team at the time, and so we played every event against them. So it was tough to get any wins against them. But the highlight of my career, I mean, I got a couple of individual SEC championships, but getting to win it as a team in 2002 was definitely the coolest week and coolest event to for my whole career there. So I mean, I'd say that's probably the highlight. I think when I won SECs the first year, Hootie Johnson was the chairman at Augusta National at the time, and he called me to congratulate me. And he asked me, "How would you like to invite 9 of your friends and come play Augusta National?" So for winning SECs the first time as an individual, like our whole team got to go play Augusta National, so that was pretty cool. And so the next year it was pretty good motivation. And I won back-to-back years. I won this individually the next year, and then we won as a team again. So Hootie Johnson called us again. He was like, "Y'all want to come back to Augusta National?" So that was kind of a pretty good motivation to play well but to get it done as a team in 2002 and win the SEC championship against the best conference in the country. It was that was pretty special to get to do it with my girls.
You finish up in 2003 and then go straight into the Emerson Tour. 60, didn't you miss 60 cuts in a row? I'm just thinking that's a lot of golf. Like, some of these guys have at some point had to be thinking, it'd be really nice if I could just have a weekend off. But you never took a weekend off because you were obviously winning, competing. So what's that like going from the Augusta National to whatever course you started playing probably 3 weeks later on the Pro Tour?
Yeah, I mean, it's very different leaving college. As I said, in college, you show up and you play golf, and that's, you go to class and you play golf and you go to workouts, and it's all you do. But no, like now all of a sudden you got to grow up and you got to make your own flights and make your own rental cars and make your own hotel reservations and pay for your own dinners, and so it's and you're playing a lot more. I mean, in college, I think we played I want to say like 4 events in the fall and 8 in the spring. And then all of a sudden now you're playing, a lot of weeks in a row. I mean, I think the most I've ever played on LPGA, I think I played 12 weeks in a row, and which is way too many. I would never do that again. But yeah, I mean, you're obviously hoping that you're working on Saturdays and Sundays. And when I was playing Epson Tour, I was fortunate enough to make I played 60 events out there, made every cut I played out there. But yeah, so you're always working on Sunday, but that's payday. So you always want to grind and make it that Sunday. You can take Monday off, but you don't want Sunday off.
Yep. So you also 2006, you were a contestant. Jonathan, I don't know if you ever watched it. It was one of my favorite shows, watching the Big Break. And I hear, wait a minute, Kristy's going to be on this thing. You were a contestant on Big Break 6. What was that like? It was filmed over a 2-3 week period of time. Is that right?
Oh, yeah, it was, we filmed it, I think it was 12 days total. So not that much, they kind of stretch out the entire season. So, we filmed it out in LA at Trump National out there. And, not to get political on either way, but, Trump was out there, every day, had every breakfast and lunch with him. And then, once I got kicked off the show kind of early. Once you got kicked off, he'd come play golf with us. So it was pretty cool to, get to hang with him and play a lot of golf with him and spend some time and kind of learning his mindset, obviously well before he was president. But yeah, so it was a cool experience. The hard part for me was I had to miss what was then the Symetra Tour or Futures Tour at the time. We didn't have that many events, and the top 5 at the end of the year got their tour card. And when I left to go film, I was 3rd on the money list, and I had to miss 2 events to go film. And so it's kind of a catch-22. Do I go film or I stay here and I play? And, and I was out there filming, and by the time I came back, I was 10th on the money list. So it was motivation. The first week back, ended up winning that event. So got back into the top 5 and got my card back. But it was, that was the hard part, was missing events and, maybe not having a chance in my LPGA Tour card. But the whole show was really cool. I mean, we did, it was 9 girls and 9 senior guys on our show. And, we got to meet a lot of cool people, got to hit a lot of fun shots. Got to, my time there was a little shorter than I wanted it to be, but it was a great experience. I'd do it again. It was a ton of fun. I wish the show was still going. You know, I wish we did a reunion at Reynolds Plantation one year or an invitational, and I thought we were going to keep that going. That would have been awesome. But it was really a fun show, and I think I wish Golf Channel still had that going. But cool experience though, for sure.
So you mentioned getting your tour card back, and then you decide that since you're there, you might as well play well. So you were in the top 10 for 3 of the majors. What's that like? I'm looking at this: tied for second, tied for fifth, tied for seventh. We won't mention the last one there. That was probably like an off week or something.
Hey, she made it to Sunday and got paid.
She still made the cut. No, absolutely. Yep. Don't forget, she always makes the cut. But what's it like coming in? I mean, tied for second. Were you in the final pairing? Was that a showdown of some kind? We had extra holes, or?
So that one there you're probably talking about was 09, was Kraft and Visco, which used to be Dinosaur Kraft and Visco, which is now our Chevron Championship, which is now in Houston, which is kind of sad. I always liked to be it was out in Palm Springs, and it was always kind of like our Masters. Our caddies wore the full suits, and our tradition was to jump in the pond. Winner jumps in the pond at the end, and so yeah, that one there. Well, I was in the last group, and myself and Brittany Lincecum and Kristy Kerr were in the last group and kind of battling it out. And Brittany Lincecum, well, both of them are really good friends of mine now, but I was really close with Brittany Lincecum at the time. And, she was so nervous and holding my hand the whole way and hands shaking. She's like, calm me down. I'm like, I'm trying to win a golf tournament here too, but she's relying on me to calm her down and chill her out. And, but yeah, so we got to the 72nd hole, and I had a 1-shot lead in par 5, and as soon as we actually got a shuttle ride up to the tee box from 17 to par 3, which I hit a great shot on 17, thought I made a 1, hit the flag, bounced off, and anyway, lipped out for 2. I'm like, so I thought I made a 1, I thought I made a 2, end up making a 3, and I'm like, all right, so still got a 1-shot lead going to the last hole, and but we're going up there. They moved the tees up, and Brittany, her nickname's Bam Bam. She hits it a long way, and I knew, I was like, she's going to cut the corner, carry the pond, and she's going to be able to go for it in 2. I was like, this isn't looking good for me. I got to make birdie the old fashioned way, And so, yeah, I ended up, long story short, I made par. She hit, honestly, the best shot I've ever seen in golf, hit the shot of her life, par 5, hit it up there on the left side of the green. It kind of hung up for a second on the left side of the green, rolled down to 4 feet. She made eagle. I made par. And, and then Kerr dropped a bomb on me to tie me for second, still money out of my pocket too. So I always give her a hard time about that too. But yeah, so it was, and I don't know if it's still the case, but at the time, the only male or female to lose the last hole of a major to an eagle. So that's not really the right side of a stat that you want to be on. So, obviously if she made eagle, she won the tournament, but, I didn't really lose it. I had a birdie putt at it, but obviously would have liked to see that go a different way, and would have liked to be the one jump in the pond that year.
Yeah. That's to get beat like that. I mean, you just got to say congrats, and
you got beat.
You got beat. Yeah. So,
right.
Well, that led to the 2009 year led to something we'll talk about here in a second. But what is golf? You mentioned you're still playing a little bit. What does golf look like for you now?
Yeah, I'm working at a golf course here in Tampa, and also working with Kristy Kerr, and she has a wine label, Kerr Cellars, and so working with her as well, and doing some events with her, and but still playing a little bit on the LPGA. I've only played 3 events so far. I'm leaving Sunday. I'm gonna go play the next 2 events. I'll play Arkansas and Texas, and then
you play well in Arkansas.
Arkansas, I love Arkansas. Arkansas is one of my favorite ones. I've had the same host family there for 17 years, which is crazy. So, I mean, it's just comfortable. I love the golf course, and the people there are awesome. It's just, so yeah, so I'm going there, and I leave Sunday. And so Arkansas and Texas the next 2 weeks, and hopefully getting the one in Tampa here. But, 5 or 6 events this year. And that's kind of all I'll play each year. I don't want to work at it as much, and I don't want to travel as much. And it's hard, the travel part's the hardest part of it. Everybody thinks you got the best job in the world. And they're like, oh, they see Thursday through Sunday on TV. They're like, oh, you got the greatest job in the world. I'm like, yeah, you didn't see me dragging 170 pounds through the airport and taking a 36-hour trip and red eyes and renting these cars and being away from home for months. It's just, granted, it's like I said, I've got a very good life, but it's hard to do it that many weeks in a row. So, but yeah, just getting to where I'll just play a few. like I said, I don't want to work at it as hard. You can't just show up and play against the best in the world and hope you do okay. You really got to work at it. And when it's 115 degrees outside, I'd rather not sometimes.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So on weekends, you're not playing. Do you still watch? And who do you really like watching nowadays?
Yeah, I do. I mean, obviously, if any of my good friends are up there, I'm watching them and cheering for them, but, the older we get, the more my friends are getting out of it. I mean, there's still, know everybody on tour and, have a lot of good friends that are playing every week. But, now I kind of watch one of my best friends that I travel with a lot, Angela Stanford. She plays still some, but she's also doing TV. So now I kind of watch to listen for her on TV and see if I can find something to make fun of her about, So, but, and same thing, like Morgan Pressel does TV now, which I played a lot with Morgan, good friend of mine. I like watching her in the booth, but obviously I like watching the golf too. But, there's a lot of young kids out there, a lot of good, good young Americans that are up and coming and going to be good for the tour. I think Rose Zhang's one of the new studs out there that's fun to watch, and won her first LPGA start, and kind of got a spark to the LPGA, and so so she's fun to watch. But I mean, I still have a lot of good friends out there. That a couple of girls from Tampa here, Brittany Altamori and Elizabeth Sokol, Brittany Lincecum, that play full time. That I'll cheer for them and just. But yeah, I'll watch. I'll definitely all the majors. And then definitely my friends are up there.
Will you keep up with the Gamecock women's team, and how do you think they'll do this season?
They're pretty solid, off to a solid start. So they, I tell you what, Kaylin's done an awesome job since she's been there, and they're just they're every year, year in year out, they're the team to beat, and everybody in the country knows that, and they've done a great job, and yeah, they're going to be around for a long time. They're actually coming down here to the golf course I'm at, Pelican. That's where SECs are going to be now. So Kaylin texted me. She's like, "We're going to be down there at Pelican. We need to know everything you know about that golf course." So
good scouting report right there.
So yeah, I think I know it pretty much better than about anybody else. So, but it's so it'd be cool to have them here. And but yeah, they're a strong team. They've been a strong team since she's been there, and I think that'll continue. They got a good coaching staff, obviously good support from the whole athletic department, and the kids in there are good players, and there's quite a few of them that have come out on tour now that have done well on tour. That they'll keep doing well.
Now, you don't think Corey's going to want that same info for her Ole Miss team, do you?
Corey texted me as well, and so did my buddy Kim from Auburn. There's quite a few of them that are in the SEC. So they're definitely and I mean I have I got a little bit of a battle going on when my Gamecocks and Ole Miss are both playing. Corey's my girl, and my heart's obviously with my Gamecocks, but she was my college roommate teammate for 3 years, so it's kind of hard to not cheer for her too. So I'm inside. I'm an Ole Miss fan as well.
Yep.
You're going to share part of your notes with the Ole Miss and all the notes with like the Gamecock.
Right.
I mean, like the par threes, Ole Miss can figure it out themselves, right? They can walk the greens themselves.
Right. So I'll give them maybe 14 of the holes. I'll leave the par threes out.
There you go. So we always want to know, and I don't know how you narrow it down, because obviously you played some really good golf for a really long time, but what is the best or most memorable golf shot that you've had?
Golf shot that I've had? Oh, yeah. Lord. Just one? Oh.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You probably got 10 to choose from.
Oh, gosh. I mean, I would say the hardest golf shot I've ever had to hit,
okay,
and probably leading into what y'all are going to talk about next, but is the first tee shot of the Solheim Cup. And when you have how many ever thousands of people screaming and chanting on the first tee, and I didn't even know I was hitting that first tee shot until like an hour before, because things got switched up. But that's the most I will remember every feeling about that, even though I think I blacked out. But that is the hardest shot I've ever had to hit. But I mean, obviously it's a little easier when you got a driver in your hand than anything else. But it's that was probably the most nerve-wracking shot I've ever had to hit, for sure.
I don't know. We've topped a number of drivers off the first tee, so maybe not the driver's the easiest one for everybody.
The driver's definitely not my easiest one.
Yep. Well, you mentioned that Solheim Cup, right? 2009. You have an incredible year. You are an automatic qualifier for the Solheim Cup, the victorious Team USA Solheim Cup team. I might mention y'all won 16-12. What you already described the first tee experience, right? Like I can't even imagine standing there. Like if I'm standing with guys that haven't played before, I'm a little nervous. But like you said, the crowd is surrounding, cheering you on. I mean, you got to play in a U.S. site. The ladies this week are playing on the international soil. What were some of your, besides maybe that first tee shot, some of the highlights for you of that week?
I mean, obviously getting the trophy at the end, but playing on U.S. soil, there's nothing like that. You know, you're playing for, you know, yourself. You're playing for your teammates, your captains. You're playing for your families, but you're playing for a whole country, and you can feel it when you're playing on U.S. soil. And you know, it's just and like I said, that long story short, the first tee shot, I wasn't supposed to be in that group. I was supposed to play with Morgan Pressel, alternate shot. For 2 months, we have been partners for alternate shot Friday afternoon, and she was with Michelle Lee in the morning, and Brittany Linscomb was out there in the morning. And you know, I get a call an hour and a half before my tee time, and I'm just going to the range to warm up, and get a call, and I look, and it's Beth Daniel, and I'm like, all right, why is captain calling me? So she calls me, K-Mac, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm about to go warm up, you know. So I was like, what's up? And so she's like, well, Morgan's struggling a little bit. Brittany's playing well. She's like, how do you feel about playing with Brittany Linscomb this afternoon? I was like, well, Morgan and I have been practicing for 2 months. We're partners, you know, whatever. But I'm like, I'll do whatever you want to do, you know. And she was like, okay, well, you know, what golf ball do you play? And at the time I was playing Callaway. And she's like, well, Brittany's playing a Pro V. Do you think you can play Pro V? Sure, I can, you know, whatever. They're all good golf balls. And then she says, well, what tee shots were you going to hit? I said, I was going to hit evens and Morgan's going to hit odds. Oh, well, Brittany really wants to hit evens. You think you can hit odds? And I'm like, so my whole game plan that I've been planning for 2 months, and I didn't have to be nervous on that first tee shot because, you know, I wasn't hitting the first tee shot. And so that changed. So all of a sudden everything changed real quick. And so that tee shot was very nerve wracking because of that. So, I mean, I definitely remember that. But we got to play with Brittany Linscomb twice. She was my partner twice. And then I did play with Morgan Pressel. And, you know, Morgan and I, neither one of us have ever been long hitters in our life. And we played against Suzanne Pedersen, who was their top player at the time, who's captain this week. And for Solheim, played against Suzanne Pedersen and Helen Alferson, both bombers on their teams, and both their strongest players. And you know, it's kind of fun playing alternate shot and getting hit in the first shots into the greens against them. I think Morgan and I shot 6 under alternate shot and beat them in alternate shot. But it was kind of fun taking down their powerhouse team. And when, you know, people don't give you much of a chance when you're not the bombers out there. But yeah, no, I mean, it was just getting to play with my girls, and a lot of my best friends were on the team. My family getting to go up there, great friends getting to go up there, host families that I'll stay with, my housings, friends from all over the country getting to go up there. It was just, you know, I didn't get to see much of them because we were so busy, but to get to share the experience with them, it was really cool. I mean, it's just, obviously I wish I would have played more than one Solheim, and I wish I was over in Spain this week. Just couldn't make it work. But I'll be at some more and get to experience some more. I know Angela's going to be captain soon, and she asked me to be an assistant captain, and Kristy McPherson will be captain and asked me to be an assistant captain. So I'll get to be part of the team coming up at some point, and yeah, so I'll get to experience it again. And I don't know if it's going to be more nerve wracking on the assistant captain side or on the playing side when you don't really have a whole lot of control if you're not playing. But yeah, it's just such a special week, and I can't wait to watch those girls this week. It's so much fun, and I think, you know, just everybody has the passion and the pride. They want to go and play for the country, and you know, it's a week that, you know, nobody's getting paid, nobody's getting anything, but it's the most important week of the year.
That's cool. I think we just got some breaking news there, Jonathan. We already know an assistant captain here.
That's right.
Maybe the best part of the week. I don't know if I was supposed to say that yet, actually, but they did ask me. Well, I mean, they're not captains yet. I mean, Stacy's captain this week, and Stacy's the captain next year. So we're going back-to-back years because of COVID, and so we're going to get back on the even years, and Ryder Cup's going to stay on the odd years. So we're going to go back-to-back years, and being the quick transition, Stacy's just going to stay on for 2 years in a row. So it's little easier that way instead of a whole new transition. And then I think the next one after that might be Angela. So that might be the one we'll go with after that. So yeah.
You say they don't get paid, but someone does take care of their travel arrangements, right? They don't have to book their own hotels and things like that.
Right. So when
Go
we
back to
played,
playing golf.
we were in the cottages. So we had a pretty nice. We were in the cottages right at the golf course. You walk out the door and you're on the driving range. But yeah, and they're gonna take care of them over in Spain. Trust me. So they'll take care of them, and they actually they do a good job, and they help out a little bit, a little stipend, so you can help get family there and stuff if you have people that you want to help get over there, because obviously not a cheap trip to get over to Spain, but yeah, so they take good care of them.
Well, if you were the captain or maybe co-captain, what would you be telling the team whenever the week starts? Besides, you're now playing on the exact opposite tees and exact opposite shots of what you thought you were going to.
Right. Well, I probably would not switch that up right before I went, but no, I mean, you got to soak up every minute, everything. You're going to hear it all being on over in Spain, being on their soil. You're going to hear it all, and you just got to use it for fuel to fire. You got to use it, and they're not going. The fans are respectful, but you're not going to hear a lot of USA chants as much as you are. You're going to see a lot more of the blue and gold over there, but I mean, you got to use every bit of being on their soil, use that to fire you up even more. And we haven't had the cup in a couple of years, so I mean, that's the motivation in itself. It got to where I think for a while it's a little bit lopsided, and the Americans kept it for a while, but now it's getting the other way, and that's nobody likes that. So that's but those girls, I sent a video to them and just said, Stacy asked if we'd send a good luck video. And, I just, told them, enjoy every minute of it. Obviously you go out there and you play for your country and you play for the girls beside you, play for, but I mean, just enjoy it, enjoy the walk. I mean, you just got to soak up every minute of it. And just, it's such a special week that, especially the 5 rookies on the team, they're not going to forget any bit of it. So it's just, I'm excited for them. Proud to have those girls over there representing us, and it's going to be fun to watch them this week.
Yeah, you mentioned since your team won in 2009, I think the European team has won 4 out of the last 6, and the last 2. So it's been a couple years, or a couple turns through the Solheim Cup. So maybe it is time for the U.S. to get it back. And Stacey Lewis, I think, is a good captain, will get us there. But you mentioned the fans, right? So how much do the home fans? How much can they? They're respectful, yes, but chanting obviously for their home team. How much impact do they have?
I mean, it gets loud. I mean, you're on a big golf course, but except for when you get singles out there and you get 12 matches out there, you've only got 4 groups on the golf course, and so you're looking at how many ever 10, 15,000 fans with each group around there, so it gets loud. It's not like they're spread out over all 18 holes. And so it's, it can get up there, but it's, you can let it get in your head if you want to, but, I think our girls are prepared for it and mentally tough. And, they're not expecting loud roars when they win a hole, but, they won't be getting booed either, but it can be, but with that being said, Americans travel very well, so it'll be interesting to see. I mean, I think we'll be well represented over there as well.
I don't know if we can ask because it feels like it's going to be an obvious prediction, but do you have a winner for this week?
Do I have a winner? I mean, do you even need to ask? I mean, not only, I know, I mean, obviously I'm cheering for the USA. Obviously my girls, I mean, we want that cup back. And all the captains are good buddies of mine, and these girls are studs, and they're ready for it. I mean, European team is tough. I mean, you got a couple of young studs on that team too, and you got the veterans on there to holding them through. So it's not going to be easy by any means. Obviously, I'm going to take our girls. Everybody, is kind of worried. We have 5 rookies on the team, but those rookies have already won tournaments this year. They've already won major champions. We've got the US Open champion on there. That's a rookie, but those girls nowadays, the type of golf they play through college and then coming out of college and coming straight to tour, like they're prepared, they're ready for it, and they'll be able to hang in there. And then we got the I always think it's a good thing if, people are like, well, Lexi's not playing great. I mean, if Lexi is your weakest link, we're gonna be all right. So I mean, she's former number one player in the world. She's been struggling a little bit, but she's got she's got the game. I'm not worried about her. She's got more pride, more passion than anybody I've ever met. So she's gonna get up to play for our country. And if she's the one that's going to be the whatever quote unquote weakest link, as people have said, like that's a good problem to have. So, I think our girls will be ready. I think Stacy's gotten them ready, and I think they're going to be they're going to be excited to get that cup back. So obviously, I'm going to take them. Well, I think what did we win? Oh, 9, 16-12. I'll take 16-12, 16-12. We'll call that again.
Sounds good. You mentioned some veterans. I mean, Lexi, playing in her sixth, but you look on the other side, Anna Norquist, she is playing in her eighth, but she's also a vice captain, which is kind of crazy. So, and then you mentioned the rookies, the US, Lilia Vuz won 2 of the majors this year, as well as Allison Corpuz winning that US Open. So, like you said, they're so prepared coming out of college, coming out of wherever they were, that the rookie thing might just be, I haven't played in one of these before, and after the first couple shots you settle down. But they're good golfers. So
Right.
anybody maybe pick 1 or 2 for each team as like maybe the ones to watch, or people that you think will have a good week.
I mean, obviously, I think the American team, you got to go Rose Zhang. She's kind of the hot one coming out of college. Lilia Vu's number one. I think she's still number one in the world right now,
She is.
and rightfully so. She's won 2 majors, and she's but hottest player right now, and someone who can get fired up and can fire up the team. Megan Kang. Watch out for her. She will have a good week. She will have. I mean, I could sit here and name all 12 of them that's going to have a good week, because they are. But Megan Kang and also Angel Yin. Angel Yin's a bomber. She can be a game changer in some of these things, and I think Angel she'll bring some fire to that team too. I'd say obviously Rose is going to be steady, but Angel and Megan will be a little fiery up there. And yeah, I mean, you got all kinds of stud. Like I said, Nelly, you're always, happy to have her on your team. There's so many good players that are just, obviously they're there for a reason. You got a top 12 players from each side. But on the other side, yeah, Norquist, still kind of mad about her. She beat me in Linscomb in 09. So I'm okay if she doesn't win any of her matches. I like her as a person. She's a great person. She's a buddy of mine. But yeah, I'm okay if she gets the goose egg this week. So but yeah, I mean, obviously they've got an awesome team too. I mean, you got so many power players on that side too. It's no, not too many people are playing better than Charlie Hole. You got to watch out for her, and she's got fire to go with it. But Lynn Grant, I mean, she's been playing great. There's a lot of good talent on that side too, and it's gonna be. I mean, I think we're gonna have a lot of good matches go down to 18. I don't think you're going to get a lot of blowouts. I think it's going to be, every hole's going to matter, every putt's going to matter, and whoever's the most prepared and can handle the pressure at the time, it's going to come away at the cup in the end.
Yeah, it'll be fun to watch. This episode will be coming out on Thursday, and then Friday through Sunday it's nonstop action. So we're doing a Ryder Cup contest, because we bought a Ryder Cup flag and hat to give away. But Jonathan, we got a little twist to our word of the week here. What's the Ryder Cup contest word of the week?
Yeah, the word of the week is Solheim. So if
There
you're
we
still
go.
that one listener who keeps telling us what it is, we appreciate you, and we're hoping that you win. So
There
if
you
you
go.
message us on any of our social media, you can get an extra entry into that contest.
Yep.
Before we get to our quick nine, I did have a question. You talk about preparation and the girls being used to playing probably in larger crowds, maybe than what it would look like however many years ago you played.
Just a few.
What if the dynamic changes though, whenever you're playing for yourself? You really are almost in a silo through most of those 4 days, even if you're partner up and the ladies that you're playing with. What does it look like though, how the dynamics change whenever all of a sudden you're on a team, you're pulling for each other, you're probably giving each other tips on breaks and things like that, that normally that wouldn't be a conversation. So walk us into those moments since you've been there.
Absolutely. I mean, for me, like I said, growing up, I played, baseball and basketball, and I love team sports, and that was the biggest turnoff about golf to me is, I wanted the team sports. I want to be able to, run and scream and jump and yell and, have a great time with my team. And this is the 1 week of the year or every 2 years that you can actually do that, and it's obviously, you're still playing golf and you have to be focused in it, but it's the 1 week that, I mean, you're cheering for that girl right next to you just as much as you're cheering for your ball to go in. And we don't cheer against the other team, but we're okay if it doesn't go in. But yeah, I mean, that's the fun part of it is that, we don't get that but once every 2 years. And to get to be able to do that. I mean, yeah, when I get to play with my friends on tour, of course I'm cheering for them, but it's not me and her against the world, it's still, you're playing your own ball and you're playing your own tournament. And to get to have 11 other girls and the captains and everybody with you, that you're actually all one unit. It's I wish we had more team events. I mean, I know we got International Crown and, working on a few others maybe, but yeah, I mean, it's just, to get to play a team sport. That's what I've always loved. And, this week is just, I mean, you truly, you live and die with every putt of that comes from the red, white, and blue, so it's a different feeling for us. And don't get me wrong, when they get back to Arkansas, they aren't cheering for each other as much anymore when they get off that plane from Spain. But this week and that's the fun part of it. And they'll be, the girls on my team, we're all still great friends, and they'll be, they'll have a different connection that they've never had before. And they'll be, best friends and from here on out, and it's a cool feeling to have.
Jonathan, I feel like I helped prepare her for these team events by winning a church golf tournament back in the day.
Yeah, like she knew what it was
biggest
like.
win of my career.
I mean,
right,
she was just running around, face painted with our team colors.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Before that, I don't know if she'd ever won a team competition. I mean, the SEC thing was after, so yours was probably first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, it was a pretty big moment of my life there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we always like to do a thing called a quick 9. We're going to ask you 9 questions. You can be as long-winded or short-winded as you'd like. We'll be rapid fire. Hopefully we won't have anything that trips you up. I don't think we've got anything super crazy. You might have already mentioned it, but what is the favorite course that you've ever played?
Gotta say Augusta National. I mean, I'm a Southern girl. It's not the best course in the world, but I love the history, and so gotta stick with Augusta National.
Anytime you can say that you played it, you've already put yourself in a different category with like a million other people that are more. Anyway, being a South Carolina native, what's your favorite course in South Carolina?
You're going to one of them. Caledonia's pretty cool. And I like True Blue a lot. Both of those are if my whole family's in Merle's Inn. I got to stick in that area. Obviously, we have a lot of great golf courses in the state, but most people would stick with a Keel or something. But I'm gonna stick somewhere in my home area. I'm gonna go with Caledonia.
If you want to text us your course record on those, we'll see if we can break them. Robbie and I would do like alternate shots with some sort of mulligan thing, but we'll see if we can come close.
You already told me you can't break.
What was your home course in the Conway area?
In the Conway area?
Yeah, what was your home course growing up?
Oh, well, I went and played out. I didn't play in Conway. On the weekends, we went out to Podunk. We went out to Nichols, South Carolina, and played Pineland Country Club, which is no longer there. So, but we would go there every weekend. That's where I would live on Saturdays and Sundays and go play the big games with the boys out there. But our home course in high school was Wild Wing.
Okay.
So which used to be 72 holes, and now I think it's just 27 holes, maybe.
Okay. Of course, you're talking about was that where we went out and we played with I think there were 9 of us in a group that summer. Likely,
yeah. We play good 9 balls out there, 9-man wolf. There are no rules out there. That's my kind of place. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I'm sure this number is going to make us jealous, but how many hole-in-ones do you have?
7.
Oh,
7. But it's weird. I played golf my whole life. I did not make my first hole-in-one until I was 24. And I made 6 of them in a stretch of 4 years. So from 24 to 28, I made 6. So it's like all that golf I played, and then it happened to be the best golf I was playing in my life. But
Clearly.
I mean, you still got to get lucky for the ball to go in the hole. But you're hitting better shots probably. But yeah, and then I didn't make one for 11 years, and I made one like 2 years ago. I finally got off the stretch of 11 years of no hole in one. So I think I'm due again. But yeah, all 6 of mine came in a 4-year stretch, and I've been playing golf for, well, we won't tell you how many years I've been playing golf. That'll age me too much. But yeah, my whole life.
Yeah. Well, Jonathan and I, if we add all ours up and the years, we are still at that goose egg you were talking about earlier.
Still waiting for that first one,
I
huh?
feel like she's
Yep.
played a little
Never
bit
too
more
late to
golf.
have the first.
Right. Never too late. It's always
Yep.
there. Every one of them special too. I think I made 4 on LPGA during events, which is always nice, but never won a car, never won anything. It was never on the prize hole, but it's always fun when you do it in front of a lot of people too.
Absolutely. What's your favorite golf club in your bag?
Got to go putter. It's
Okay.
a money maker, man. Got to go putter. And I mean, you can get away with missing some shots and missing some greens, but if you can putt, that takes all the pressure off your ball striking, and you're still going to be around for the weekend if you can get the rock rolling.
That is definitely the answer of a professional, because the rest of us are like our 7-iron, the most easy shot that could possibly go straight. And you're like, no, money shot. We're going for putter.
Or the
Gotta go
4-iron, because I
putter.
use it to punch out and stuff. You know.
That's right.
You used to, yeah, punching out the 4-iron. I'm not sure. I haven't seen your golf game in a while, but not too many people are good enough to carry a 4-iron anymore. You gotta go to the hybrid now.
I'll just say I'm better than when we played in college.
Well, I mean, you look like you got the look. You
I
look like
appreciate that.
You
I
look like
appreciate
you
it. Yeah. Well, we'll have to come down to Pelican and play some golf.
Come down.
We'll make a best ball road trip.
You don't want to be down here right now, but when it starts to get cooler, you're gonna want to be down here. It's nice. Yes, come on down.
What is your favorite golf course logo?
Ooh, that one might trip me up a little.
I trip you up.
I'm gonna go with National Golf Links America in Long Island. So it's the little. We'll have to look it up. I don't even know how you should have prepared me for that. I would have grabbed a hat from there. But you got the little.
We'll put it on the
there.
screen during this.
Yeah, you got the little man on there. You got the little, but that's a cool logo. But I do appreciate a good logo. I mean, I have far too many hats, far too many T-shirts, far too many everything. But I appreciate a good logo. I go into a shop after playing, especially National. I think it's like number 8 in the country. So you got to get something with a logo on it. But yeah, that's also one of my favorite golf courses. But it's a cool logo.
Besides me, I'll take myself out of the running. Who's the most famous person you've played golf with?
Oh God, most famous person I've played. I mean, how kind of famous? I mean, I've been with Tiger. I've been with Annika. I mean, if you're thinking golf wise, obviously Donald Trump. I don't know. A lot of athletes, a lot of other athletes, a lot of basketball, a lot of baseball. I mean, Crime Dog's one of my good buddies here. Fred McGriff, play with him a lot. I wouldn't say he's the most famous, but he's Crime Dog. He's a Braves guy, and South Carolina people appreciate Braves guys. But yeah, I don't know. Like,
You played with Darius?
Darius, yes, yep. Does that count? Is Darius one of the famous?
All the
I don't
above.
know. Yep. So Darius,
sounds like you need to play with Shane Beamer as well, though.
I've been in a group of Beamer, have not actually played with him.
Okay.
Beamer and I was with him and did help him out a lot. He was on the struggle bus, but at the end of the day, he was most improved. He's coachable.
Robby set me up on this one because it's my favorite question to ask everybody. What is the best on-course snack?
Ooh, good one. On-course snack. I mean, if I'm walking, I don't eat a lot. If I'm in a cart, I can't stop eating. And obviously we don't get carts, but I mean, if I'm playing in a tournament, I'm a beef jerky girl. I mean, I don't know if that's, protein bars, they get all melty, all gross, but yeah, I mean, I always got beef jerky in my bag. I got whatever they have on the first tee, I'll grab. It's not a very good answer, I know, but we'll go with beef jerky. What is yours?
Oh, tacos at Cabo. I was in Cabo in January. There were taco stands every 3 to 4 holes. It was
Yeah, I think I did that once in an LPGA event. We played Lorena's event in Mexico City, and they had tacos for us at a turn, and that's the last time I'm gonna do that. When you're doing it and it's your job. So
Yeah, that's
yeah,
different.
I mean, this wasn't like, I mean, this was during the tournament, so it wasn't like it came with a Modelo beer with it, you know. So
I was
I
about to
mean,
say,
yeah,
ours
it's a
came
little
with two
different when you're
free.
on a boys trip.
We had 2 free drinks and as many tacos as you wanted every time you came around every 3 to 4 holes. So we had breakfast tacos and then we came around for lunch. It was fantastic.
Yeah,
Yeah. Now,
they
if I'm
weren't
not
concerned
playing a
about
tournament,
making.
sorry,
They
Robbie,
weren't
go.
concerned about making putts. They were concerned about when's the next taco stand. So.
That's right.
Right. I mean, ours, I mean, this was in a real tournament. So if I'm playing a fun tournament, and this is Madison Club out in Palm Springs, Julie Inkster, obviously played on tour, and she's a good buddy of mine, but she plays out there. And they call it the 5-pound round. You're on the range. They bring you breakfast tacos. Every 3 holes is a full open bar, and they're making tacos. They're making sushi for you. They got hot dogs. They're making, I mean, so every 3 holes, that's my favorite place to play because but I'm also not trying to post a score. I'm also not playing for my job. So you can eat and drink whatever you want and those kind of things. But if I'm in a tournament, you try to keep it simple with the beef jerky.
5-pound round. What a name.
Second road trip.
Yeah, absolutely. Another road trip. Yep.
Madison
So-
Club. Yeah.
Who's in your dream golf foursome?
Dream golf foursome. I almost got to play my dream golf foursome at Augusta National last time I played. I got to play with my dad, which was really cool. So he's the one that got me into the game, and he played to a +4, +5 before he has had multiple surgeries, multiple cancers. But yeah, so this was after he, had already had cancer, and so he didn't get to play as well as he wanted to. But he parred 11, parred 12, and birdied 13 at Augusta National. So that was pretty cool. But I got to play with him. I got to play with my best friend Angela Stanford. And then my brother was going to be in the group, and then we had the member host there. So, but if my brother would have been in there, which the member host was amazing, but pretty cool 4-ball at Augusta National is pretty good. But anytime I go home, and if I can get, it doesn't happen very often anymore, but if I can get my dad out there and my 2 brothers, that's pretty cool. Pretty cool round. But if you want to go, on tour, we get to pick our last round. We get to pick the last player we play with. On tour, Angela Stanford would be in there. It'd probably be Angela Stanford and Brittany Linscomb. Tell them, my last round on tour, you're all coming with me. So we'll have one more go around,
We talk about it all the time. Golf is more about who you're playing with and who you're around for the day than any shot or score or anything else that happened.
Oh, absolutely. If you're not out there, if you're not going to have a good time, if you're going to be slinging clubs and having a fit every time you hit it, I tell people all the time, you are not good enough to get mad. And so it's just, I mean, especially when we play pro-ams and stuff. I mean, you're playing charity events and people get mad. I'm like, it just makes it, yeah, it's definitely about who you're with and who you're playing with. And, it's anytime I get my bros and my dad out there, it's always a fun round.
Side note to that one, this is not the last question. Do you still beat your brothers when you're playing?
I do. Well, they go through a lot of golf balls these days. So they hit the ball hard, but they cannot control the golf ball. They don't know if it's going to duck hook 50 yards or slice 50 yards. So it makes it pretty easy when I hit it straight and they're playing out of people's backyards. So yeah, it's not much of a competition anymore with them.
Are they calling you up saying, "Hey, I need some more golf balls"?
Oh my God! Every time I'm coming home, can you bring some more golf balls? Can you bring some more golf? And so, I mean, it's nice. Every week we play on tour, we do get a lot of golf balls. So I have a lot of golf balls. So, I mean, every week in our locker, we get 3 dozen golf balls and 3 gloves. And I mean, who uses 3 dozen golf balls for 4 days? If you do, you ain't making a cut. So, but yeah, so obviously every week I'll have at least 2 dozen golf balls. And my brother, if he listens to this, you got to edit it out. But, he thinks he's a little better than he is, and he wants the brand new ones. He doesn't want the ones that I've played 9 holes with, and he wants the brand new Pro Vs that are in the box, and so he can hit them once and we never see him again. So, yeah, I'm always giving my bros golf balls.
That's a good sister.
Balls, besides golf balls, what is the most random thing you carry in your golf bag?
Random thing I carry in my golf bag. I'm not that weird person. Like I don't have a lucky rock or anything. Like my caddy, like if you make your caddy carry a rock, he's probably gonna quit on you. So I don't have a anything, lucky anything, but I don't have. This is a terrible answer, I know, but I don't have anything random. I mean, I have your normal. I have gloves, tees, balls, divot repair. I mean, snacks.
Beef jerky.
That's it. Beef jerky, liquid IVs. What more do you need? I don't have any lucky anything. Maybe I need to get something lucky. Maybe I'll carry a rock next week and see if it works.
You don't need a rock. Something with the Gamecock logo, that'd be good.
Some of the Gamecock logo. I mean, I always have my either Gamecock head cover or South Carolina head cover. There's always South Carolina and my Gamecocks are represented well. So I got a big Gamecock on my golf bag, and they're always represented in my head covers for sure.
As they should be. Well, Kristy, we've taken up a lot of your time. You've been great to share with us some of your history, your experience playing and playing in the Solheim Cup, and your prediction as we gear up to watch the Solheim Cup this weekend. So we appreciate you joining us, and we'll be cheering you on here the next couple of weeks as you get out and play a little more golf. But now Jonathan and I will definitely figure out a way to get down to Tampa when it cools off a little bit and come play with you down in at Pelican.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for having me on, guys, and y'all cheer on our girls this week. Let's get that red, white, blue. Let's get that cup back.
Absolutely. Well, for Jonathan and Kristy, this is Robby. We appreciate you guys listening to the Whole Story Podcast.